Look how beefy and tanky these Pokemon get as you move on. They get huge. But dude, out of this page, the biggest thing has to be that anchor Pokemon. It looks so different. If I were to see it in a trailer, I feel like it'd just blow my mind away. Oh God. You don't understand what page I just opened. Tapu Koko's in the middle. This is the Guardian Deity page. Tapu Koko's in the middle, and to the left of it is a blue/purple Tapu. You know what kind of looks like a Chain Chomp? I would not have expected that. When I saw Tapu Koko and its arms served as like the whole closing thing, I thought that's how all the Tapus were. But you're a vertical Tapu. You're like a clam Pokemon. Moving on to the right, look, this one reminds me of like a seahorse. This Tapu's chilling. This Tapu takes strolls around the entire region. Look at these Tapus though. They all got that look, that face, that design. Except you! Whoa! Whoa! That reminds me of like a Jin. This is probably what like the strange souvenir is based off. You look like the badass. You're the King Tapu. You know what it is? This guy is probably the deity of the Forbidden Island or something like that. You know how out of the 8 islands in Hawaii, one of them is forbidden? I'm pretty sure that one's also included in Alola, and that guy's the Tapu of it. He is the one you don't want to mess with. Like, what the hell is Tapu Koko to that? You will slap Tapu Koko around. But man, you know when I see these appearances, it's what I always wanted Pokemon to do. To drop that weird barrier they put in front of their work and to just expand. 2 years ago when we saw Hoop Unbound, we didn't think it was a Pokemon, and now we're here where there's so many new Pokemon like this. Zygarde being a full-scale, perfect Zygarde Pokemon couldn't have been done before this. Alolan Pokemon existing, despite it being like a fan thing for the past like 15 years, all of it's coming together. It's perfect. But dude, you're the final Tapu. I gotta see what you're about. The strange souvenir in Kalos was said to depict a Guardian. It probably isn't Zygarde. It looks like it would be one of these Tapus, or if not, just generally these Tapus. Moving on, next up we've got Solgaleo and Lunala. But baby forms of them. You got Baby Lunala and Baby Solgaleo. Now, I don't know what this is. This seems like the most smallest, condensed, like nucleus form of these guys. But there's no doubt that these are Solgaleo and Lunala. Whether it's a small form that takes the form of an item like Zekrom and Reshiram, or just how they look like in their sealed state. Because like I said, it looked like they're being summoned at a shrine in the earlier trailers. So maybe you go to a shrine, and by using one of these two like sealed orbs, you can reawaken Solgaleo and Lunala. But that's interesting. I wonder what this is about. This is why I think these leaks are bittersweet, because you just get to see the best parts of things and they don't make sense. When I think of the 4 Guardian deities, I feel like they have to have some sort of role than just protecting the 4 islands. Maybe they hold keys to awakening Solgaleo and Lunala or something like that. But as the mysteries of the Sun and Moon, I feel like it would make sense if these guys aren't just free, if these guys are sealed until you awaken them. But hey, at this point, these guys are actual Pokemon models. These aren't items. So at this point, Solgaleo and Lunala have pre-evolution forms, which is really weird. But hey, if you want to get onto weird, there are 8 Ultra Beast Pokemon. First up is UB01. You know, you got a cool jellyfish Pokemon. People are speculating that these are like different parasitic viruses or something. But let's move on. UB02, it's a super muscular Pokemon, but it's also got the features of like a wimpy bug, so it's like you're a grasshopper. Moving on, dude, this is gonna get so epic. I don't know if it's considered UB03, but the 3rd Ultra Beast. I don't know what you are. You keep the same theme of looking like a parasitic flying Pokemon. I don't know who I could relate this to, because there seems to be power in strong characters. So for like a Kahuna, they side by one of the Tapu Guardians. For other characters like Lily, it seems like their equivalent power would come from the fact that they're an Ultra Beast. The 3rd one is a giant with the floaty telepathic hands. This one reminds me of Duos from Mega Man, but at the same time it reminds me of like Hoop Unbound. This looks so artificial, so mechanical. This looks like an Ultra Beast that was stuck in a lab experiment and you freed it. Man, these Ultra Beasts are all like ambiguous. They're all abstract. And there's 4 more. First up is this armored beast. This thing looks like a deadly Ultra Beast. This thing looks like when it pops up, it ain't gonna be nice like any of the other ones. Like the muscular one. Yeah, it's muscular. Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, but it's got those weird bug features. This thing looks like an emissary of like darkness. Like, yeah, I can see that as Marsh Shadow, but apparently it's an Ultra Beast. The 6th Ultra Beast is this one. Yep, it's Guzma. Guzma's an Ultra Beast. I don't know what that means, because I don't think Ultra Beasts are chosen after. I think, aren't they born an Ultra Beast? Then again, we've never seen a trainer linked to the Ultra Beast they look like. Maybe Lily doesn't really shapeshift into UB01, but the way it seems so far, it seems like these Ultra Beasts are originally Ultra Beasts and then they take this human form. So this is really the Guzma Ultra Beast, and then he takes the form of Guzma. But then that doesn't make sense because you really sounded like a human who tried to go through the trial exam and failed and all that. So now we're left with two options. Is Ultra Beast like a path in search of power, or are Ultra Beasts like this artificial weird thing created that's just like plaguing Alola now? You know the next one. This one's supposed to be UB02's counterpart, so I don't know the naming scheme of these guys because we have 7 so far. This one looks a lot like the leader of the Aether Foundation, which raises the exact same questions. The leader of Team Skull and the leader of Aether, both are Ultra Beasts. What the hell is an Ultra Beast? And how about you ask yourself that one more time when you look at the 8th one? That is the 8th Ultra Beast. That is just a monstrous tyrant. But I want you guys to take a step back, look at these 8 things, and take in the fact that in Pokemon, you can never do boss battles. You can never like fight a level 50 Raticate and it take you such a long time for you to beat it. The closest thing to doing that was just creating a strong team, which is like the Elite Fours. With these Pokemon could be legitimate bosses. Imagine you went into some hideout and this 4th Ultra Beast waits there and that's the boss battle. I don't know how they'd show its health or anything because we've never seen these things in battle, but imagine it had like 3 bars of health. And you may be saying, hey, did not tell you they're not Pokemon? Well, hey, maybe they just are Pokemon. Nintendo actually recently talked about the fact that Ultra Beasts can actually be caught, which means that yes, they do have a box sprite, they do have an in-game model, a typing, all of that stuff like a Pokemon does. These guys are half human, half Pokemon, Ultra Beast hybrids. I don't know what they are. When you get these leaks, the lore doesn't come with it. But I think this is the ultimate opportunity for implementing boss battles in Pokemon, and I like it. And that takes us to the next scan. This is the one you all wanted, Magearna. We all care about Magearna. Oh, Shiny Magearna. Hey, Shiny Magearna is just the original Magearna from 500 years ago. What the hell's wrong with you, Masada? You covered it up by saying, hey, this is Magearna from 500 years ago. It just got freaking rusty. No, you got a shiny Magearna. In the movie 500 years ago, the dude who created Magearna, worked with that staff and all that, he had a shiny Magearna. That's Magearna's shiny form. It looks more like a Pokeball, and then I guess its normal form just generally looks like a rusty version of it. But are you ready for Marsh Shadow? Take a look. It's Marsh Shadow. All right, that one. That one is Marsh Shadow, man. Listen, so the leaker told us that Marsh Shadow has a unique typing or something like that. But I would never expected that that's what you look like. Now, here's the thing. Marsh Shadow does exist. We've only been speculating right now that there could be this 3rd Pokemon that's in between Sun and Moon. What is in between Sun and Moon? It really is that darkness or the eclipse, and it really is a Pokemon. Marsh Shadow. I don't know if by Marsh Shadow this thing means to represent Mars or Shadow. One argument you can make in terms of planets is the fact that there are 8 Ultra Beasts, and maybe they all represent the planets of our solar system. Maybe they're emissaries just like Solgaleo and Lunala are. But that doesn't make sense. They're not from any planet. They're artificial Pokemon created on Earth, is what it has to be. If there's anyone who comes from the outside, it's Solgaleo, it's Lunala, and it's Marsh Shadow. I don't know what this thing is. Fire Dark? Fire Ghost? We'll never know until the games come out, because I don't think Game Freak would at all reveal Marsh Shadow before the release. I mean, and it raises the question, what is Marsh Shadow's role? Why does this Pokemon exist? Don't tell me Marsh Shadow has something to do with like Type Null's existence and all that. And finally, we got Zygarde's different forms. 10% Zygarde, 50% Zygarde, and that monstrous 100% Zygarde. It's a lot easier to fathom finally once you see their 3D models and all that, especially with the Ultra Beast. The Ultra Beast, the Alolan forms and all that, but this is the Alolan region Pokedex that was leaked in Pokemon Sun and Moon. To finish it all off, this is the layout of the Pokedex. This is so crazy to look at. Starts off with the starters, moves on to the local bird, and just slowly gets into each of these Pokemon. If you look at it, Type Null, it's weird. Type Null comes in the middle of the Pokedex. Right before Minior and Turtonator and all that is where Type Null is. I can't imagine any reason that could happen because Type Null shouldn't be a common Pokemon or a Pokemon you can find that many of. Like, there can't be more than one. But whatever, it keeps going with Minior. I can't believe the Koala Pokemon is all alone. You get down to Drampa and the Anchor Pokemon. These two would be cool as counterpart Pokemon. Moving on to Jangmo-o, the 4 Tapu Pokemon. Oh my god, Solgaleo and Lunala's pre-evolutions, Solgaleo and Lunala themselves, the Ultra Beast Pokemon, man, it would be crazy. Like, Ultra Beasts shouldn't count towards your Pokedex, but they should be catchable for using them as Pokemon. Magearna, of course, and then the final Pokemon in the Pokedex, Marsh Shadow. So, you know what? Let's get into the Alolan forms. First off, you got Lowland Rattata. This guy is your counterpart to the Young Goose. In one game, you're gonna find the hell out of that Rattata. In one game, you're gonna find those gumshoes. Evolves into Lowland Raticate, which gets this puffed up face, but that's okay. You ate a lot. You're treated right. Next up is Alolan Raichu. So Alolan Raichu evolves from the same Pikachu, so that's why there's no Alolan Pikachu. If you ask me, I think Alolan Raichu would be triggered by like level up in Alola. A Thunderstone would make it evolve into a normal Raichu. Leveling it up in Alola could make sense to evolving it into an Alolan Raichu. You got Sandshrew and Sandslash, some of the most epic ice-type Pokemon. I know they revealed these guys first to give us the feel of Alolan Pokemon, but I almost feel like these guys should have been almost like one of the last ones. Because Sandslash is a badass Pokemon like that. They even did a good job describing its description, the fact that ice grows on top of its scales, so it makes it a bit bigger, it becomes heavier, but it becomes stronger. After that is Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales. Again, some of the most coolest looking Alolan Pokemon. And then, god damn it, you get to Dugtrio. Listen, when I first saw Dugtrio in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I don't even know what my reaction was. It was just so weird. Jinx, is that a Dugtrio? But check it out, Alolan Diglett. I honestly don't get it. It's like Diglett from Kanto versus this thing. How could you call it an Alolan Diglett? That is a minor difference. Just because one grew hair and one didn't doesn't make you a different Pokemon. I'm serious when I say that. Alolan Pokemon are supposed to be majorly different. Small variations like Arbok having 2 different designs should be normal. But if this Diglett having hair is going to be a different form, then this thing must have something. Whether it's faster or Diglett being a wimpy Pokemon, now it has hair to protect itself. Listen, here's the thing. Pokemon ain't stupid, okay? If this is a pointless form, it wouldn't have been introduced. There has to be some sort of point to Diglett, and look at that Dugtrio, man. Getting this hair form. I don't know what type this could make you. Maybe it would make you dragon. I mean, it did it to Ampharos. Like ground dragon. That's stupid. You know what? Leave a prediction on what you think Alolan Dugtrio is. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to guess this. Obviously, some of you gotta get it, but I feel like it's gonna be such a weird typing. Speaking of weird, there's Meowth. There's that inbred Persian. Listen, if I knew I was gonna get a watermelon head, I wouldn't have gone Alolan either. There's no explaining this. You grew up with the Royals, you stay with the Royals. I'll go ask Giovanni for his Meowth. In fact, I'm glad my mom's got a normal Meowth. These guys are blue, let them breathe. But don't worry, sometimes you need Pokemon to look ugly, so that when a Pokemon looks badass, it's worth it. I'm talking about you, the Moustachio Geodude, who evolves into the Moustachio Graveler. These two are by far some of the best looking Alolan forms. And if I follow, I think what Alolan Golem is like a pure rock type. Because if you think about Golem, it always sucked because it shared that ground type, and yeah, it would get stabbed on ground attacks, but it was super weak to water and grass, and so many more types. Think about it, ice, fighting, steel, it was weak to everything. So now by making it pure rock in Alola, you can make Golem actually really good. Think about it. Pure rock type Geodude, pure rock type Graveler, pure rock type Golem. So badass. Actually, maybe the Golem, like that looks a bit steel actually. Maybe the Golem would turn out to be rock steel. But that actually goes backwards. I don't know, but it grows this beard out of rocks. My idea for an Alolan Golem would have been for it to lose the shell so that it would be more reptile-like. But that is cool too, make it more armored. I love it, man. The fact that Alolan Pokemon are for these Kanto Pokemon, it gives out this certain vibe that I like. Like seeing this super tainted Grimer is so at the same time nostalgic, but new. Here's your Alolan Muck, you've seen that. Alolan Exeggutor, you couldn't fit its image, you had to make it go down a bit. Alolan Marek, one of the most special Alolan Pokemon for it to evolve from a normal ground type Cubone into a fire ghost Hell's Marowak. Like I think what really happened is its mother spirit like comes back and helps it, something like that. But listen, hey, let this blow your mind. Pikachu with Ash's hat, literally all of Ash's hat. There's the Indigo League, there's Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, all of them. He has every single hat. It's funny, I actually talked about this earlier. I was saying that in the same way that there's AZ's Floette, so a special version of Floette for AZ, there should be like Red's Pikachu, a special version of Pikachu for Red, and he would have boosted stats just like AZ's Floette. Now this thing here may be Red's hat, but everything else is Ash's hat. But that would make sense as to why this model would exist. If Ash popped up with his Ash Greninja and he had his own Pikachu. But it's weird because you don't merge the games and the animes together. I think if Pikachu's models exist in this game, either that means somehow we have to be confronting Ash, or we're somehow just gonna confront Ash's Pikachu. And then after, you got Zygarde's models. So 10% Zygarde and that giant 100% Zygarde. Zygarde's another question. What role would Zygarde have? There's so many weird powerhouses. Ultra Beasts, Zygarde, type nose evolution, even got Solgaleo and Lunala having preforms. This game is too different, too new. Unless you think this landed far away from what a Pokemon game is, this is exactly what I wanted in a next-gen Pokemon game. If you watch my video, the top 5 things I wanted in Sun and Moon, I hoped for smaller things like trainer customization returning, and I made a mention in that video that I wouldn't be hoping for certain things because I didn't think it was in Pokemon's realm to do it. Well, Sun and Moon really broke down that barrier and showed me that they could go past it. You gotta love the work they they put into these games. These are a bunch of just brand new Pokemon. So anyways, guys, there it is. The entire Alolan Pokedex has been leaked. Again, it's crazy. I would never have expected this to actually happen again. I would think that Game Freak and Pokemon is scary, that people are gonna data mine their games and they try to erase anything that's not needed for the demos. Like, think about it. You don't need half of these Pokemon for the demos. All you need is Yungoos, Greninja, and just like the other 3 Pokemon you can find in the demo. I was certain that when these demos came out that they're gonna be data mined, but I never thought that Game Freak would actually give them something to mine. So anyways, guys, that's all time for this video. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about Sun and Moon, alright? Because we don't know any of the lore, any of the typings, not much about these. Yeah, we know how they look like, but that's really it. It's gonna be a weird final month towards Sun and Moon, and it's possible that these are all the Alolan Pokemon in the game, so we don't know what could be coming over the next month, but it is the last month, and Pokemon has to be trying to keep it entertaining. If you think about it, in the demo, there's multiple dates mentioned for this last 30 days. Think about it. Someone's told you to come back the next day. Someone said to come in like 16 days. There's gonna be different events, hopefully, to keep the hype up towards Sun and Moon's release. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on all of this, and as always, guys, keep playing, keep laughing, and keep believing. See you in the next video. Peace.